A girl studies in a bright, modern room. Her phone rings. She answers, her expression shifting from calm to resolute as she listens. She hangs up, staring at a photo of herself with a young man. In an underground cage, that same young man fights, shirtless and bleeding. An older woman watches from a balcony, her face cold and disapproving. The fighter takes a hard punch, then another, but he rallies, knocking his opponent to the mat. The referee raises his arm in victory. The woman on the balcony turns away. The fighter clutches an envelope of money, a small smile on his bruised face, but the older woman confronts him. He looks surprised, then respectful. She speaks to him with authority. His smile vanishes, replaced by a look of pain. The envelope slips from his hand. Falling to the ground, he suddenly drops to his knees, pleading with her. She turns her back on him and leaves. He picks up the money, his face a mask of despair. Later, under fireworks, the girl and the fighter stand on a bridge. She's happy. He gives her a delicate necklace. She smiles brightly, but his expression turns serious. He says something. Her smile fades, replaced by confusion, then shock. Tears fill her eyes as he continues to speak. She grabs his hands, pleading, but he pulls away. She cries, yelling at him in disbelief. She demands he look at her, her voice breaking. He finally meets her eyes. His face cold and unfeeling. She slaps him hard. He doesn't react. She rips the necklace from her neck, throwing it to the ground. She runs away sobbing. He watches her go, his tough exterior finally cracking. He collapses to his knees, picks up the broken necklace, and weeps uncontrollably, clutching it to his chest. 6 years later, the girl is now a confident lawyer. Striding through a modern office building, her colleagues flock around her, their faces full of admiration. She smiles, professional and composed. In a bright office, the fighter sits on a couch, now a powerful CEO in a sharp suit, surrounded by bodyguards. He speaks with an air of cold authority. Another lawyer, listening intently, the CEO adjusts his expensive watch, his expression unreadable. Later, the lawyer walks with a colleague, reviewing a file. Her colleague briefs her on the new client, mentioning his past as an underground boxer. The lawyer freezes, a flicker of recognition in her eyes. Just then, the CEO and his entourage emerge from the office. He walks down the hall, exuding power. The lawyer looks up. Their eyes meet across the room. They both stop, staring at each other in stunned silence. The CEO strides down the hall, his bodyguards flanking him. He walks away, a cold silhouette against the light. Her colleague approaches, his expression urgent. He tries to reason with her, his voice hushed and worried. He grabs her arm, pleading, but she remains steadfast, her jaw set. Finally, she gives in. Later, in the CEO's lavish office, he sits behind a large desk, smoking. The lawyer and her colleague enter. She looks around the room, her expression guarded. She hesitates, then places her files on the desk with a thud, turning to leave, but her colleague stops her. The CEO rises from his chair, walking towards her with a predatory grace. He stops in front of her, his gaze intense. He grabs her arm, pulling her closer. The colleague tries to intervene, but the CEO silences him with a single glare. He turns back to the lawyer, his voice a low growl. She pulls her arm away, her eyes flashing with defiance. She agrees to take the case, but on her own terms. The CEO smirks, pulling out his phone. He demands her contact information. She resists, but he insists, holding the phone out to her. She reluctantly takes it, typing in her number. Her phone buzzes. She looks down, then back at him, a flicker of a smile on her face. She turns and leaves the office, her head held high. As she walks down the hall, another woman in a yellow dress approaches. The woman stops in front of her, her expression hostile. She questions the lawyer's presence, her voice dripping with jealousy. The lawyer looks at her, unfazed. The woman's face contorts with rage as she realizes who the lawyer is, the CEO's long-lost first love. The lawyer stares back, her expression unreadable. She dismisses the woman's words with a cool smile. But the woman presses on, revealing that she and the CEO have a 5-year-old child together. The lawyer's smile falters, a wave of shock and pain washing over her face. The woman smirks triumphantly, then brushes past the lawyer, leaving her reeling from the revelation. The lawyer flashes back to the night the CEO broke up with her, the necklace he gave her, a painful memory. Her colleague tries to comfort her, but she pushes him away, her mind in turmoil. Later, in the CEO's office, the woman sits on the couch, complaining about the lawyer. The CEO ignores her, his gaze fixed on his phone. She tries to get his attention, but he brushes her off, his voice cold and dismissive. He notices the necklace she's wearing, the same one he gave to the lawyer years ago. He rips the necklace from her neck, breaking the clasp. The woman cries out in pain and confusion. The CEO examines the broken necklace, his face a mask of regret. He grabs his jacket and rushes out of the office, leaving the woman crying on the couch. Outside, the lawyer walks towards a white Jeep, but the CEO appears, blocking her path. He pins her against the car, his eyes pleading. He tries to explain, but she refuses to listen, her heart shattered by the betrayal. The lawyer stares at him, tears welling in her eyes. She tries to leave, but he grabs her hand. his grip firm. He pleads with her, his voice thick with emotion, but she remains unmoved, her face a mask of indifference. He grabs her chin, forcing her to look at him. His eyes search hers, desperate for a sign of the love they once shared. She struggles against his hold, her voice trembling with unshed tears. He leans in, his lips brushing against hers. She closes her eyes, a single tear escaping. The lawyer pushes him away, her voice sharp and angry. But he grabs her hand, his eyes blazing with a fierce intensity. He confesses his love for her, his voice raw with emotion. She pushes him away, her voice full of anguish. The CEO looks confused. Then his eyes fall on her colleague, a look of understanding dawning on his face. The lawyer quickly composes herself, linking arms with her colleague and walking away, leaving the CEO standing alone. In the car, the lawyer stares at the CEO's file, her expression thoughtful. Her colleague watches her, a hint of jealousy in his eyes. She confesses that the CEO is her first love. The colleague is stunned, then asks if she'll get back together with him. She shakes her head, a sad smile on her face. The colleague looks relieved, but his hope is short-lived. As the lawyer continues to stare at the file, her heart clearly still torn. The next day, the CEO's assistant briefs him on the lawyer and her colleague, revealing their close relationship. The CEO's jaw tightens, his eyes flashing with a possessive fire. The woman in yellow enters, her face a mask of concern. She tries to flirt with him, but he pushes her away, his voice laced with contempt. She flees the room in tears, leaving him to his dark thoughts. Later, the lawyer arrives at the CEO's office. She finds the woman in yellow leaving, her clothes disheveled. The woman glares at her, then whispers a threat before storming off. The lawyer enters the office, her face a mask of cool professionalism. The CEO offers her a glass of water, his hand brushing against hers, a spark of electricity passing between them. He kneels before her, his eyes full of a desperate longing. He questions her about her love life, his voice a low whisper, but she deflects, her tone clipped and businesslike. He grabs her, pulling her into a passionate kiss. The woman in yellow watches from the doorway, her face a mask of pure hatred. She vows to make the lawyer pay for stealing her man. The lawyer pushes him away, her face a mixture of hurt and anger. She confronts him about his fiancée and child, her voice trembling with betrayal. He tries to explain, but she refuses to listen, her heart shattered by his lies. She turns to leave, but he grabs her arm, his eyes pleading. She tells him to stop bothering her, her voice full of pain and resignation. He watches her go, his face a mask of despair. Later, as the lawyer walks to her car, she flashes back to the night he broke up with her. The cruel words echoing in her mind. She tries to get into her car, but a man grabs her from behind, covering her mouth with a cloth. She struggles, but the drug takes effect. She wakes up in a fighting cage, her head throbbing. The woman in yellow stands before her, a cruel smile on her face. The lawyer stares at her in shock and confusion, her mind reeling from the sudden turn of events. The woman in yellow circles her, a pair of boxing gloves in her hands. She taunts the lawyer, her voice dripping with venom. The lawyer tries to reason with her, but the woman is consumed by jealousy. She puts on the gloves, a cruel smile on her face. She punches the lawyer in the face, sending her reeling against the cage. The lawyer cries out in pain, but the woman is relentless. She continues to beat her, her rage growing with every blow. Meanwhile, the CEO paces his office, unable to reach the lawyer on her phone. He orders his assistant to find her, his voice laced with panic. Back in the cage, her eyes wild with a crazed fury, she raises her fist for another blow, her face a mask of pure hatred. The woman taunts the lawyer, her voice dripping with malice. She delivers a series of brutal blows, leaving the lawyer gasping for breath on the mat. She grabs the lawyer by the hair, forcing her to look up. She taunts her again, her face a mask of pure hatred. Meanwhile, the CEO gets a call from his assistant, who informs him that the lawyer has been taken to a boxing gym. The CEO's face pales, a look of pure terror in his eyes. He orders his assistant to send a message to the woman's family, then speeds off in his car, his heart pounding with fear. Back in the cage, the lawyer tries to reason with the woman, her voice weak but firm. She tells the woman that the CEO doesn't love her, that he's only with her for the child. The woman's face contorts with rage. She orders her henchman to bring her a small bottle. The lawyer's eyes widen in terror as she realizes what's about to happen. The woman opens the bottle, a cruel smile on her face. She forces the poison down the lawyer's throat, a look of pure evil on her face. The lawyer struggles, but the woman's grip is too strong. She orders her henchman to hold the lawyer down, but the lawyer fights back with a renewed strength. Maul, the CEO speeds through the rainy streets, his face a mask of grim determination. Back in the cage, the woman grabs the lawyer by the throat, her eyes blazing with a murderous rage. She tightens her grip, a look of pure hatred on her face. Just as she's about to deliver the final blow, the CEO and his men burst through the door, their faces a mixture of shock and horror. The CEO kicks the woman away, sending her sprawling to the ground. He rushes to the lawyer's side, his face a mask of concern. He cradles her in his arms, his voice a hoarse whisper. The woman gets to her feet, her face a mixture of shock and rage. She confronts him, her voice trembling with betrayal, but he silences her with a single word: his eyes blazing with a cold fury, carrying her out of the cage, his men following close behind. At the hospital, the CEO waits anxiously outside the operating room. The doors slide open, and a doctor emerges. The CEO rushes forward, his face a mask of desperation. The doctor informs him that the lawyer's life is no longer in danger, but her vocal cords have been severely damaged. She may never speak again. The CEO is devastated. He begs the doctor to do something, but the doctor can only shake his head in sympathy. The woman in yellow watches from the shadows, a cruel smile on her face. She revels in the CEO's pain, knowing that she has finally won. The CEO rushes into the hospital room, finding the lawyer awake in bed. He rushes to her side, his face a mixture of relief and guilt. He apologizes for not protecting her, his voice thick with emotion, but she pushes him away, her voice a hoarse whisper. She confronts him about the past, her words a torrent of pain and betrayal. He tries to explain, but she refuses to listen, her heart shattered by his lies. She orders him to leave, her voice trembling with unshed tears. He tries to comfort her, but she pushes him away, a sudden spasm of pain racking her body. She clutches her throat, gasping for breath, her eyes wide with terror. She can't speak. CEO panics, calling for a doctor, his heart pounding with fear. He watches in horror as the lawyer struggles to breathe, her face a mask of pure agony.